Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. So today we are going to see how you can build your own Spring Boot starter. Starters in Spring Boot play a significant role. That's what makes Spring Boot amazing and very friendly for developers. Just add a particular starter. Let's say I add starter for Kafka, and magical thing will happen, like auto configuring all the things. Add a starter for the database, all the automatic configuration will be done and it's ready to go for that. So but what is the story behind how it is built? So to understand that, we will go step by step. We will uncover layer by layer and create our own starter. That's what then we can relate how the actual starters are built. Here in front of you is the Medium article. This link will be given in the description box as well. So you want to go ahead and see all the steps. Very welcome. Go ahead and check that out. Want to see the running demo along with me in this video? Follow along with me. So these are the set of steps that needs to be done, which some of these things I already have done. So to start any Spring Boot project, we already go to this start.spring.io. So to build the starter, so I have taken an example of the logging starter. The story is like, I want to build a starter that I want to be that I will be using in any of my services, microservices project, and the functionality will be such that if I hit the endpoint, let's say I say this is the endpoint. Hi Arvind. So I want to see the logging of the request endpoint happening in the project out of the box if I added this starter. So this is the functionality I want to build, the simple functionality, right? So for that, let's go ahead and create this project. So this is the logging starter, which I already, and for this one, this is the web dependency that's only added. And for the Java version, I have picked 23. And if I show you exploring this one, this is what it is going to look like. Okay, and this I already have open in my project, and the initial just I have taken that project and open this in IntelliJ IDEA. That's it. So this is what the dependency it is looking like. So starter web is there, and there is just one more dependency that I have to add in here. Starter core, basically excluding this one. Okay, so this is the thing. And after building that starter, that library, kind of, I have to push it somewhere, right? So because whenever I have added this dependency starter web, it is pulling it from the source, right, from the Maven repository. So I also want to push my starter, this library, to Maven. In this video, we are not going to push it to Maven. We are going to push it locally, and we'll be using that one. So for that, I have to write something. So let's see what that. So first is that ID Maven publish. So this is the ID Maven publish that will help us to publish the project, basically. And there is one task, publish and tasks, that I have to write. So if I come to this article, there is a piece of code that I have to add. So let me copy it from there directly. This task I have to add. So just copy this piece of code from here and paste it in here. So whenever our logic is ready, this will help us to publish the artifact, this logging starter, into this folder, local Maven repo. Okay, so this is the local build directly. So if you see this build, under this one we are seeing reports only. There will be this project, this folder, local Maven repo. Under this one, by name of com.codefarm logging starter, and this is going to be the version. That's how we will be seeing our library. Okay, so let's go ahead and start writing the logic. So request logger, not yet, implements filter. So there are so many filters. So see which one I want to include. So look for the Jakarta.servlet. Okay, and just implement the do filter method in here. Okay, and don't forget to annotate it with component, and then the basically web filter, what all requests will this will intercept. So this will intercept all the endpoints that will be coming to our service. So in here, I want to cast this into this one. So that's how this will help us to log the details of the request. I want one logger as well. I want to put in, let's say, info. I want to say requested endpoint. I want to print request method. And I want to print URI. So these are the two things. Let's say method can be get, put, post, these things, and this URI is going to be the endpoint, basically whatever we are calling. So after this is done, I just want to pass on the request. Okay, so yeah, that's it. So this is the functionality, this is the simplest functionality that I want. This is the logic, but now I have to do the setup kind of. So how I make sure that this is initialized when it is included into in other application, right? So that's where I have to write the config. Logger auto config, annotated with configuration, and there is this annotation conditional on property. So this will come handy because I want to include this dependency, as well as I want to give the flexibility to the callers, whoever the client is, whether they want to enable this or not. Even if they have included it in their build.gradle, so they will have a configuration, another configuration to enable it or disable it. So that's where this will come in handy. So on property, that means I have to enable, I have to pass on a property. So let's say custom dot config dot enable. So having value true. Okay, match if missing true. So what it will do, what it is doing, let me explain. So let's say there is another service, order service is there, where I will include this logging starter. In that service there will be this configuration. If you pass this and its value is true, only then this is going to be enabled. And if this configuration is false, or if it has any value other than true, it won't be enabled. But if you do not pass this one, by default it will consider that this is going to be enabled. So by default behavior we are giving it that enable it. Okay, so the just here bean, and under that one, so request logger, and give this one. So here we have this auto config ready, and let's say here also I want to include a logger. Let's copy it from here. So for our purpose, for understanding purpose, we are putting this must log in actual application. These kind, this is not needed at all. You just have to put the debug in here as well. Info we are putting in just for our understanding, that to see the set of steps that it is doing actually. Okay, so our auto config is ready. So we want this auto configuration to be executed whenever application is starting or resolving the dependency. Okay, so how do we do that? So let's see this step now. So first step, we added the dependency, we added a filter, we added a configuration class, this one, and register the auto configuration. So this is the file that I have to create in here. So meta inf spring. So coming in here resources, under this one create a folder, meta inf, under this another directory spring, and inside this create a file, and that file name is going to be something like this one, org spring framework boot auto configure auto configuration dot imports. Okay, so this is the file, and inside that file I have to add this auto config basically. So this logging auto config is there, right? So fully qualified class name I have to put in here. Fully qualified means this package name and this. Okay, so now here we have to add, and this wraps it up. That's all, right? Auto config this one, and we have to publish it. So let me explain a bit. So we are using in the build.gradle, we are on Spring 3.4.1 because I came across this problem while adding this one. So this configuration was different before 3.x. So before 3.x, this was the thing scene. So you needed to add meta inf and then spring.factories. Inside that somehow something like this you had to add the configuration. But in the Spring 3.x, things have been changed. So if you happen to using this one in problems, so this is the solution. So this is the folder that you have to put in. So just keep this in mind, because you might, maybe you know the previous one in the 3.4 3.x also you try to do that one, that is not going to work basically. So keep that in mind. So now we have all the things ready: business logic, auto configuration, and how to trigger that auto configuration. Now I have to publish this one. So for publishing also the code is ready. So what we have to do in here, so just type the command gradle w dot publish. This is the first time, so this might take time. So in the meantime, if you see the publish build folder in here, there is nothing in here right now. Okay, so this build is successful. So if we inspect this, so you see this local Maven repo. Inside this I can see com Codefarm logging starter, this file, and this is the 001.snapshot. I explained you that where this version coming in, and there are a lot of files added in here. So if you see this plain jar is the thing main, and jar md5 jar so on. So this is the main artifact that's there, that has all the things bundled: request logger, auto config, spring factories, and all that stuff. So now I just have to create one more application where I can add this, and this is going to work that out. So coming to the another application that we have, so this is the order service, order example service, not access the service. So it has basically only the web as a dependency, other things are not in here. So in the implementation part I just have to add the rutil that's there. Okay, so what is that name? Com dot Codefarm and logging starter, and under that version 0.0.1 dot snapshot. Just verifying the thing. So if you see this 001 hyphen snapshot com Codefarm, and this is the logging starter name that is coming in, logging starter, that's in here. Okay, so coming to the order. So but yet another tricky thing in here, because this by default it will start looking this Codefarm logging starter into the Maven repository, like the on the over the internet from where this pulls the dependencies, but this won't be available in here because it's not there. So I have to configure it, that look for it locally and see if this is available there. Okay, so how do we do that? Under the repositories section, it is by default looking for the Maven central, so do not disturb this one and just add Maven, and inside this see, so step 5, so up to step 4 we are done. Use the starter in another project, build.gradle. So this is the dependency that you have to add. So naming is a bit different, so you got the idea, right? So application properties, test the application. Okay, so one thing I forgot to add in here, that Maven details, I will be editing this one and adding that as well. So that config is url is equal to, and there is this method URI, and inside that I have to give the complete path, basically prefixing file hyphen this one, and order come to this logging starter and local Maven repo, copy path reference absolute path, yeah, copy this one and paste it in here. So this should work. So this is in Codefarm, Spring Boot, custom starter, logging starter build, and local Maven repo. Inside that local Maven repo, it will look for this com Codefarm, this dependency. It will found that and work that out. So if I show you the build, initially it failed because it didn't found there, right? So if I refresh this again, it should resolve properly. Yeah, you see this worked. And if I come to this external libraries section in here and com dot see, you see that this one, this is our dependency, right? And this is all the things that we added. So meta nf under spring, so this is the auto config imports that's there, logger auto config, and this is logger auto config is going to be in here. This is going to be triggering, this is going to be there, logger auto config. It will trigger, it will instantiate the request logger, and yeah, ta-da. So our filter will be there, in it will be in the chain and it will be enabled. So if, and this is yet another interesting this property in here. So coming to, because I haven't written anything in this application yet, so this is important. If we do not add this, basically by default it is going to be true, but I also want to show you the false case also, that is why I'm adding in here. And next thing, let's add the port 8081 in here. Okay, and now just write one hello controller, sweet and simple. Inside that I want to have a REST controller and get mapping. I will just say hey, return hello there, sweet and simple message. Okay, so what will happen whenever I hit this hey endpoint in the request log, I should see this message, the endpoint that is being called in here. Okay, so yeah, we are good in here. So we should start our application and see this thing in action. So what do you think we should be seeing in the log? So when our service is just starting up, I should see that log, that logger instance is being created. That is the first thing that will make sure that our logger instance is there. And then whenever we hit any endpoint, this is going to be there. Yeah, so you see this line, instantiating request logger, that means instance of our logger is available, request logger is there. And now when I hit our endpoint, any endpoint in here, eight one, hey, this is our endpoint, right? So hello there. And yes, initializing this one, request endpoint, yes, this another endpoint, this icon comes by default with this one, another internally when you hit from the browser it makes that call. So yeah, the thing is that request endpoint is coming in here, right? So now let's say our we want to disable this, right? So we got the happy case, correct? So if I just stop this one and just make it false, any other value apart from true, starting, so I should not see that instance being created at all. Okay, I do not see that one. So if I search for the logging, it's not there. And if I hit this endpoint again, I should not see anything, so nothing is coming in here. Okay, and third scenario, let's just make this configuration disappear. So what do you think should happen? Write down in the comment section if you're watching this and getting this correct. So what should happen at this point? In the meantime, I'm showing you when this is running, but let me know how it is there. Yeah, you see this configuration is coming in here. And if I hit this, I'm seeing this in the log request endpoint. All right. So yeah, that concludes this video. I wanted to share about the starter, how it works. I opened the custom logger and I showed you like how this is working. So if I open it, and this meta nf manifest mf, you can see all these stuffs. So how the execution starts, basically when we add any starter, it looks for the spring dot this file auto configuration. Then when it got the entry point, the chain of execution gets started, right? So logging auto config is going to be there, whatever is there it is going to configure it. And when it is configured, it will we have like the application part of application itself, the story unfolds from there automatically. The thing is the starting point. Okay, so we got the starting point, rest of the logic and whatever is there is going to be executed from there. Okay, so this is it that I wanted to show. Let me know in the comment section if you found this useful. If you found this useful, don't forget to share it with your friends, save it for the later purpose. Okay, I'll see you in the next video. There are a lot of deep dive in the Spring Boot setup that I'll be uploading the videos. Okay, and all the source code you will be getting in the GitHub. The links will be in the description box itself, and this video link is going to be there in this Medium article as well. So do share your thoughts, feedbacks, anything you want to share. I'll see you in the next one. Till then, take care. Bye bye.